Today
Yeah.
in lunch, we're gonna have some tater tots with some cheesy fries. Just
Actually, it
potatoes.
sounds good, bro. Actually, it sounds good. Like my fat ass wants that. All right. Kicking off this, what is it, episode 2 of the new season? We're so far behind
This is like episode 13
in general.
in general.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. Sorry for the,
For the wait,
yeah.
we'll do our best to bring them up a little faster, but just keep in mind, life is happening, and we're doing our best.
Right. So we start with this weekend, right? Because we don't talk about last week. We don't do that. We're gonna talk about.
And why is that, sir? Why is that?
I cannot recall.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
play the fifth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it started off with Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City, or Leicester City versus Nottingham Forest. They played at Leicester.
Uh-huh.
So there's a bit of a controversy because
Controversy.
the coach who is currently at Leicester, which I think is Steve Cooper, I think his name is, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, Steve Cooper. He was the Nottingham Forest when they were in the championship. They got promoted right together, and then before the season started, he left Nottingham Forest for Leicester. So during that whole game, they were singing crap about him as Nottingham Forest were beating them. So it was kind of like
It was like like a sweet revenge.
you'd say that sort of thing. But I mean, Jamie Vardy doing his thing. He scored even though they lost, but
See, I thought it would be a more entertaining game because of that factor, and then
right,
seeing Jamie Vardy scoring as well. I'm like, okay, this game's gonna be action
intense.
packed.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, there were some back and forth, but uh,
Obviously, Nottingham Forest was more concrete,
yeah, a little bit more clinical at the end there.
clinical. That's what I was looking for. Clinical.
Right? And then so that was like the end of the that was like the only game on Friday
Yeah.
for the Prem. Nothing really interesting else around Europe. So we move on to Saturday, where we had Aston Villa, who's actually in good form, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing really well in Europe. They're playing really well in the Champions League. They're playing really well in the league. But
Undefeated in Europe, right?
I think so.
I heard a little fact that they haven't conceded yet in Europe.
I don't remember actually. I don't know. There's so many games going on because of this new system. I just can't keep up.
Yeah.
But anyway, they dropped points against Bournemouth at home, which is kind of sad, right? But you can kind of tell that they lost a lot of players to injury. I believe against last week, whoever they played last week. I can't remember who they played last week, but I know they lost. Like I think it was a big team. Pretty sure it was. Uh, they lost a lot of players against in the Champions League against Bologna. Um, because you can kind of tell that the calendar is sort of getting to their players.
Yeah.
They're playing so many games, right? That it's kind of getting to them. You can tell how I think they lost like in that game. I think they lost 3 players to injury, which is it's not good, right? Like,
Oh,
one
absolutely.
one as a player, you don't want that, and two as a coach, you don't want that obviously for your team because it kind of ruins your whole scheme, right?
Yeah.
And then as a supporter of the team, you don't want to see your team lose top talent at least or consistent players, right? Players who
Yeah.
are consistent,
A
right?
key player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then yeah, so that was pretty rough for them. So they drew against Bournemouth, dropped points. Sad, but they're still top four, which is crazy to think that Unai Emery is actually doing it with a lesser squad than
When
he
he
had
arrived.
at Arsenal.
Oh, when he arrived to Aston Villa too.
Well, the squad was already there, right? It was already there, but
Oh,
but the idea behind it wasn't,
yeah. Okay.
and it worked for him because clearly when he was in Villarreal, it worked for him. When he was at Sevilla, was he at Sevilla? I don't remember. I think it was at Sevilla. It
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, well, he
It
won
worked.
the
Yeah, yeah, he
the
won the Europa
Europa.
League 5 times. He's like the
Yeah.
first coach to ever do that. So it worked for him, right? Because they're a big team, but not really a big team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like financially. And Aston Villa is one of those teams, right? It's a recognized team with probably like one of the oldest stadiums in Birmingham, but they're not like, oh, top, a big six, big five, big four,
Yeah,
big three. They're not those teams, or type of team. But who knows? They do have two Champions League titles, or I'm sorry, one Champions League title. They, you know, maybe they could run it back in a year or two.
like in the old days.
I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean,
So
good on Bournemouth for taking that draw, holding on.
yeah.
They scored in the last minute, which is
Well, shout out to
crazy.
them because last week, before this game, they actually beat Arsenal.
Bournemouth beat Arsenal. Right, right.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah. So they came off that high, right, of winning,
absolutely.
of that high, because they could have drawn, maybe even lost that game against Arsenal.
Yeah,
But Arsenal, being Arsenal, they bottled they win a man down early. Sure, some Arsenal
which
skeptics will
which
think
again, I do think that's
the mentality.
the mentality. There's a lot of what's it called, lack of focus,
Right,
and it's going to hurt them at the end. This is part of the previous conversation that we were having. That that's one of the reasons why Arsenal's not going to take it anytime soon, the title of the
right.
Premier League, because they have this consistency of. I think you explained it better, where they can be consistent but not great, you
Right,
know. And then they lose. They play very well against a big team, but they end up tying, and then they go and lose against a lower team
right,
like Bournemouth, and then those are the points that they're going to be missing towards the end, and
right.
that and the lack of concentration, because this is what, like the third game that they get a red card.
Yeah, and went back to back to back,
Yeah.
and it's I think it's one, a lack of focus, and two, it's an ego, right? Because I think it's okay, especially in a sport, in any sport in general, right? I think it's okay for you to have an ego because you have to believe it, right? You have to
Yes.
believe it to make it, kind of thing,
Yes.
right? Fake
Absolutely.
it till you make it, right? But at the same time, it's like you got to always humble yourself, because if your ego goes way too high, you're going to you're going to end up crashing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're going to fly too close to the sun and you're going to end up burning. And I think that's what happens to Arsenal a lot of the times, and to
Yeah.
a lot of teams a lot of the
Yeah.
times,
Absolutely. Tottenham was
where
when they were doing well under Pochettino, when we ended up second place.
right,
This next season, the approach of the team was like if they were acting like they had already won something. No, you had a better season than you've
then
had in the
before,
last decade,
right,
but it doesn't mean you earned anything. You didn't win nothing.
right,
So it comes down to that. Like with Arsenal, yes, you've been coming in second and you've been pushing for the title race and all that stuff, but you still haven't won the title.
right.
So what
I just think they're going on the too fake it till you make it too hard,
yeah.
because I'll be honest. Do they have talent? No. The only talented player they have is Martin Odegaard. You
Yes.
can tell. You can
Yes,
tell they're
yes.
missing him. Saka, I think he's an average winger. Saliba, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel, a defender as well. Um, who else?
What is it, Martinelli and
Martinelli. He's been having that same uh, uh, consistency, so he's never been like top.
yeah.
But they need a quality forward, because you can tell Kai Havertz isn't.
No. No, like
He'll be consistent one game, and then he'll be inconsistent 10 games.
yeah.
And
Well,
you
Gabriel Jesus, he even when he was at City, he couldn't even score that many goals either.
right,
So you have two strikers that don't frequently score. So yeah, you
so
definitely
you
need a
depend a lot on
striker.
your wingers.
Yeah.
And then Declan Rice, to me, I think he's a player who can't think ahead, or can't see the vision to pass ahead. He always, in situations, even in his West Ham days, he always tends to pass the ball back or to the side instead of forward to the man running.
Yeah.
Which, as a central defender, I get it, right? It's not natural, but for you to be almost 100 million pounds, right? You would think he would have that creativity,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're just looking for a central defender, You could have bought anybody for 20, 30, 40 million. You know, why spend that 100 mil on him? But
It could always be worse. He could be Maguire.
yeah, but anyways, that's the gist of it though. For at least I don't know. I think they need to work on Arsenal need to work on on their mental, on their ego, because they seem to believe that they can do and they can get away with everything and anything.
Yeah.
Like I saw a lot of controversy this weekend when they played Liverpool, right? That they drew 2-2. Um, and Arteta playing the mind games. Oh, Saka's gonna be injured. Sosa's gonna be injured, and then here comes
The
the
lineup.
lineup, and he's in it, and it's
Yeah.
like, bruh, like you're playing mind games already. Uh, it's not gonna work. One, because
You're playing
you're
mind games
not.
with players that don't even scare
Yeah, like
them.
you're not like, oh, you brought Saka on. Oh, okay, he's gonna limp the 30th minute because he's gonna fake an injury.
Yeah.
He's gonna cut left because he's a heavy left footer. He doesn't rely on his right foot like more like other players, right? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think the mind games he tries to play, I think he overshoots it. I think he took too much of Pep because he like overthinks it.
Mm.
That's what I think. I think he overthinks situations when he shouldn't have, when he doesn't need to.
So I don't know like I haven't liked Arteta from the longest time, especially because he was an Arsenal player.
Right.
But I used to be able to tolerate him more than now because of this big head that he has,
Yeah, he does have a big head.
and I don't understand it, and it feels like this is the common trait now from the managers from nowadays because you have Arteta that has a huge head, you have Eric Ten Hag that has a huge head as well. Even when things aren't working, he has a huge head. Then Maresca with Chelsea, he came in and hot with a big ass head too.
Yeah,
Like he's delivering right now, you
yeah,
know.
but the second he doesn't,
Yeah,
it's gonna go on him. You know, it's gonna fall apart. I mean,
yeah.
it's not gonna fall apart, but it's going to be like, yo, like you were talking your shit over here. Like, what's up, bro? Back it up.
I don't know. I go back and forth with this Chelsea team. I go back and forth because they're performing. They have the players. You know, it's just I
We'll get
think.
to it once we get to the game because
All
we need to
right,
move on.
all right.
But yeah, so Brentford went 4-3 against Ipswich.
That was a crazy game.
I didn't see it because I was lazy, but I mean 4-3 is
It,
a 7 goal thriller
it was a very back and forth game.
for
That
a
was
mid tier
that
game for a
was
mid tier team.
yeah. It was. It looked like a decisive promotion game, literally, like
Not bad.
very action packed. You got a red card, you got 7 goals, and it was within like back and forth, back and forth.
That's good. That's what you want.
Yeah,
That's literally a traditional Premier League game. The Brighton and Wolves game, I will say, was that one was crazy
you know?
because Brighton. So Brighton were dominating the whole game. Whole game they were dominating.
Yeah, they were.
The second goal that Wolves scored, I'll tell you the build up.
No, I saw the build up, but go ahead.
It
Go
was
ahead.
what, 3v1?
Yeah.
Three Brighton attackers versus one Wolves defender. Brighton, I don't know if you got cocky or if you got nervous, if you went back to fucking grade school mentality. I do not know. But they fumbled the bag terribly.
So having options, you end up giving the ball to the defender,
Right.
the only defender around it,
Exactly.
the only one.
When you have a teammate to your right and a teammate to your left,
Yeah.
and then he ends up losing the ball. That defender then opens the play up, and Wolves go on and score and tie the game in the last minute.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you and at home. It's like, dude, you had the 3 points like you were about to go home with 3 points. You were about to fucking go to your fucking locker room and celebrate what was a well earned victory, and then you go and do that. Like if
Yeah.
I'm the coach, I'm having him run laps. I'm having him do suicides. I'm having him do, you know what I
You're
mean?
doing ducks.
Yeah, because dude, it's like I'm benching him next week. Like I'm
Yeah.
punishing you. We dropped 3 points because even though they drew, they lost 3 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. It feels like a loss rather
Then a win
than yeah.
or then a draw. I'm sorry.
Than a draw.
Um, yeah, like if I'm the coach, I'm like, yo, I'm dropping your bum ass for that shit. And like I hope that it takes you a day to reflect on what you did wrong. Kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Take a look at yourself in the mirror for three
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, and fucking realize what you did is stupid. But Man City barely scraped through against Southampton 1-0.
They played very poor.
I mean, I think that's City. I think that's how they play. It's just that they've been very fortunate that they get because look at my I think my example like where when I saw them play I was like holy shit they're not that good was Chelsea against City when Chelsea, the opening game when Chelsea went to Manchester and they uh they ended up what I know Chelsea lost that game 2-1, but Chelsea played a way better game than they should have at City of Manchester. So I don't know. To me, it just made me realize that City aren't that good and Chelsea are improving. But Everton, Fulham literally Evertoned themselves. They ended up,
Everton.
yeah, they ended up losing their. They held the 1-0 literally up to the 94th minute and ended up losing because they lost the ball and they decided to instead of just holding it, lost the ball. Everton countered, scored a goal, and it was a shit show of a game. Um, yeah, it was a fucking shit show of a game. Uh, Bayern Munich lost 5-0 against Barcelona or
During the
four
week
zero,
in Champions League.
right? Which is crazy because um, Vincent Company made the genius decision to bench all his top players, and then he put him in the 70th minute. Like, who do you think he is? Antonio Conte? You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, like you're not that guy. Like, first of all, your team is not that team.
Yeah.
And then they go on this weekend and they play against last place and they beat them 5-0. But it's like you only won because you're playing last place. Like don't get it into your head that your team is good enough
Yeah.
to win the champ because they're not. They're not. Realistically, they're not.
So
What
with Barcelona, it seems there's a different vibe in there because
have they?
they didn't start very well, but it seems like they're connecting. But I feel
I think
like
they did start very well.
well they how many losses do they have? They
One
have
loss, zero draws, 10
zero
wins.
draws. Okay,
I'm
okay.
telling you, they started really well.
Hmm.
They have 27 goal difference
27 goal. Oh wow.
in
Okay.
11
Maybe
games.
I'm just not paying attention enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Because
Honestly, I just don't care about Barcelona.
so
But for some reason, I thought they had a few more losses than that.
no. Look it. They started off when this is okay. Well, look it. When did the league start? When did the league start? Okay, it started here. They beat Valencia 2-1 opening week.
Uh huh.
They beat Atletico de Bilbao 2-1. They beat Rayo Vallecano 2-1, so they're very consistent. And then they go on and beat Valladolid 7-0. And then from there, they beat Girona 4-1 away. They lose to Monaco in the Champions League
Yeah.
2-1. And then they come back to Spain. They beat Villarreal 5-1. And they beat Getafe 1-0. And then they
And they
go on
lose against Osasuna
Osasuna 4-2,
4-2.
which was that was in a and that was a very poor performing Barcelona.
Hmm.
right? And then after that, they turn it around. They go back to the Champions League. They beat Young Boys 5-0, and they come back to Spain. They beat Deportivo Alaves 3-0. They beat Sevilla 5-1. They beat Bayern 4-1, correction, from my 5-0 that I said. And then this past weekend, a few days ago, they go to the Bernabeu and they freaking play with Madrid's emotions.
That was horrible. That was a horrible scoreline
So
for what it was.
Madrid was dominating, right? They
Yeah,
dominated. But I will say this: I blame Ancelotti for not telling his players, "Hey," for not telling Mbappe specifically, "Hey, play on like play on side. Like, why do you keep getting ahead of yourself? Because if he is on the line and the ball is given to him, is passed uh 2 feet ahead of him,
yeah.
he's going to outrun the defenders because he's so fast. Uh, but I don't know. This I don't know if it was nerves that got to him. I don't know if he's getting over whatever he's getting over, but Mbappe was very, very poor. The two goals he scored were both offsides,
Yeah,
but just everything about him was just like off.
he was looking like Darwin Nunez.
Honestly, yeah. And then Vinicius was still doing his thing where there's like two, three fouls that weren't fouls, and he was complaining and he was asking the ref for a yellow, for a yellow. The ref
Yeah,
did nothing to him, but it's still like I thought there was a new rule implemented where if you harass the ref, you get a yellow, right?
automatically.
Right. But none that never came to him, and he was always saying, "Oh, he was always counting the fouls." He was always, but there were one, there were light fouls. Two, he was diving 90% of the time. I think, and then today him not going to Paris, right, for the Ballon d'Or
Yeah,
is childish. The whole Madrid team boycotting because he didn't win it, bro. Don't like. It's not. Do it for the sport, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's there's just a lot of fishy things happening. Like I don't care if he would have won or not won.
right?
I don't care about the Ballon d'Or. I haven't cared about it for a very long time
Yeah,
because,
since Messi started winning it,
well, come on, like the last few times it was
rigged.
extremely gifted to Messi.
Yeah,
So I don't care what anybody says. That's the reality of what's happening. And it's just, there's so many things, fishy things happening as it is, that these events don't matter.
right,
What I don't like about Vinicius is I can understand that there's racism happening. It always happens.
right,
It's a common thing that happens in the stadiums. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be part of the culture. I get it. I understand that you need to speak up to it, but now it's gotten to him speaking out, to using it as an excuse from time to time. Because if they would have won that game, he wouldn't have said nothing
right.
about racism. And the thing is, Madrid, El Bernabeu had a lot of racist chants against Barcelona. Why not speak up there if you truly care?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. Of
know,
course.
so it just became annoying of him that after the game he's talking about that. It's like, bro, you lost, and that's why you're speaking about this.
Yeah,
Just relax.
because he blames it. Oh, that's why we couldn't win because of this.
Almost
Yeah,
like it. That's all he needed to do.
right. Just blame it. Yeah, but yeah, the scoreline does lie, but I will say Barcelona played their hand
Yeah.
beautifully.
So what I saw, I I don't understand why Mbappe is having a hard time technically, because he had very big misses
Yeah,
that you would see him in PSG do left and right,
Farmers League, bro.
and it was like a sure thing. But
Yeah,
it seemed like he couldn't even
kick the ball.
yeah, kick the ball. It just, he's looking very bad, and I don't know, like you said, if it's the pressure or what is it. Um, I think that there's more of a rift going on within, and maybe that's why he can't concentrate. Like, because I still think that the only way that team's gonna function is if they let somebody go, so Mbappe can be Mbappe.
Right. Yeah.
That's just
Because
me.
that's like the reason why Mbappe even went to Madrid, right? To win the Ballon d'Or, to try to win the Ballon d'Or, to try
Yeah,
to win the Champions League, right?
yeah,
Because realistically, that's all he needs. That and a Euro Cup, right? To complete the trifecta, right?
yeah.
The Champions League, because he won the World Cup,
Yes,
right? So the only thing he needs to win is the
Champ-
European Cup and the
champions.
Champions League,
Yeah,
and it's a trifecta of what is the
he's
what
completed football.
yeah, right. It's what every kid dreams of, right?
Yeah,
Or who wants to play, who wants to be at that level. Um, but I don't know. I just think he
I think he needs to focus on his choices when it comes to plays because he's not lifting his head. I've noticed that he has not been
I
lifting
think
his head.
I think that's what it was when he was over there. You know what I mean? When he was in France, that's all it was. It was just give the ball to him and let him fucking run.
But he hadn't had a poor performance like he's been having lately.
No,
I think like
I think because
it's more of a like a suggestion that I feel like it would help him if he just steps back a bit and be like, okay, this is a new start, this is a new team, this is a new league. I need to back up and get my boots little
I
by
just
little.
think I just think Ancelotti was poor
Yeah,
in general because um the whole game he didn't give him instructions because the same thing kept happening. He would play wide, he would play middle, he would play the other side, right?
yeah.
He would play left wide, right wide, middle, which was the same thing he played in France. But he was offside all the time, and I'm not a fan of Madrid, and I got frustrated.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine the fans there at the stadiums watching him get frustrated, right? You can hear that every time he would get the ball and the flag would be up, you can just hear the
Yeah.
like bro. There was one play where I think he himself knew he was offsides, but the moment he realized I'm offsides, it's like I can't do anything about it because I can't remember what defender was in front of him, but he was looking. I mean, if he wasn't looking because it was within his peripheral vision,
Yeah.
if he wasn't looking at the defender and he was looking at Vinny, who was in front of the defender, right? Then homie's blind. Homie's colorblind because you have to realize, oh crap, he's the last defender.
Yeah.
I'm offsides. And they gave him the ball. Lo and behold, offsides. There's some other times too where he's walking back and the goalkeeper doesn't know, he wants to just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kick it wide, kick it out, be like, go long. And he's walking back. And he's miles offside and he's walking back. Like, dude, like you don't want to see that. Like
No,
like
no,
like
no.
like you want him to backtrack, get at least to the halfway mark as soon as fucking possible.
That's what I mean. That moments it looks like he's throwing a fit sometimes. That honestly. So that's why I think that there's something going on internally because we said this. Madrid didn't need him.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
didn't need
yeah,
him.
they didn't because they won the Champions League and the league without him.
Yeah. So there's already big egos in there as it is.
Yeah,
It's Madrid. There will always be big egos, but I feel like it's the first time that he's in this situation because from Monaco, he had a great performance. He
yeah.
was like explosive.
They were comparing to fucking Henry.
Yeah. And then in PSG, he had a very great career with a lot of stars in the team. That the team actually didn't need these stars, but it was still, you know,
Well, they brought those stars to try and win the Champions League, right?
yeah,
The pinnacle, right? The
yeah.
Holy Grail.
But yeah, it is a farmers league. But it has its moments, and now I believe this is his real test because, uh, that last World Cup that they lost against Argentina.
I
It,
think it was fucking robbed.
yeah, another of the fishy things going on. But you gotta admit it was a hell of a game though.
Yeah,
It was a hell of a game, and it was that first time that I was like, maybe this is the guy, the next guy, because the way he put his team on his back on
yeah,
that final,
yeah. No, yeah.
it
Like you
was
could
like,
tell that he was like the
okay,
only one. Like,
yeah. It's like, all right, this guy is the next guy, the next star. He was a star already, but like the
Like level headed,
yeah,
freaking top of the notch kind of guy.
yeah,
Yeah, because you can tell that he was trying, dude. You
oh
can tell
yeah,
he was
oh
trying.
yeah,
You can tell that his teammates were laying him down.
mm-hmm.
You can like because you can tell when they would lose the ball, he would just like be like,
Like, bro.
yeah. I think "bruh" is an understatement, but you can tell that he was like, dude, like, come on, like you see me run, like he was dropping,
Yeah,
he was defending,
yep.
he was attacking, he
He
was
was
doing literally doing
everywhere,
everything, dude.
everywhere.
And
Yeah,
I get it that it's a lot is it's a lot of strain, right, on the
yeah,
body to do that week in week out, especially with the amount of games that there is now.
yeah.
I completely understand.
Or it could be one of those scenarios like Zlatan had with Barcelona. Where maybe it's not just meant to be there. But I mean, let's give him time. Let's see what happens.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think if he goes and plays if he goes and plays somewhere else, any other league, or even if he stays in Spain,
Yeah,
goes to another team, he'll shine. I just think it's the team that doesn't need him, and I think that's what it is. I think because imagine they just brought what's his face, uh fucking the Brit, what's his face, uh Bellingham,
yeah.
right? They just what he's barely been there what a season and a half
Uh huh.
ish. He's the star. He is their star.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think he's in a tough situation where I think he went to Madrid at the wrong time.
I think so too. I think so too. I
I
think
think if he
he.
would have gone the first time around,
Yeah.
and all that debacle and shit was happening,
Yeah. They were when the team was not.
when they actually needed him,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
I think that would have been a better. Well, it's a tough call because everybody knew he was going to end up there.
well, yeah,
What it felt like he was held hostage at PSG
yeah.
that
Well,
long.
did you see that he just sued them and he won because they owed him like 60 million in back pay?
Damn.
Yeah,
No, I didn't know that.
yeah, like 60 or 65 million back pay that they
Mm.
didn't pay him, which is crazy to me, dude. It's like, how do you fucking? I get
It's
it. Maybe they were like, "Hey, we'll give it to you,"
eventually,
Yeah,
right?
but it's like, bro, like it's not like $100. It's not 10 grand to them, right?
Yeah.
Which is like nothing to them. It's 60. It's like 60 mil, bro. It's like, dude, like I get it. He makes what 400 or 500 a week,
Yeah.
but still, like it's like, bro, like, come on now.
It,
That's a that's a
it
that's a
just
house.
seems
That's a house in Vegas. I mean, that's a house in fucking Hollywood, bro.
it's a disgruntled ex-employer.
Right? He's gonna come and shoot the place later.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, moving on because we stayed there way too
Yeah.
long. We go to yesterday, Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday. We had great games all around.
Shut up.
Great games.
Shut up.
No. Not just because your Bottle Hotspurs lost, but because well, one, the glorious Chelsea won by fucking millimeters. By the way, I was so pissed because I say this every time we do this. Robert Sanchez, or Roberto, whatever his fucking name is, the goalkeeper for Chelsea,
Yeah.
who they chose to be number one, he cannot play with his feet, with his hands, with nothing.
So he has horrible timing on his passes, or what?
Timing, passing, decisions, saves. You decide. You can pick. You can literally throw
I'm surprised.
anything.
I'm surprised that's who you guys got.
You can. You think you're surprised? I'm still flabbergasted at that. Um,
Do you guys still own Kepa?
yeah, he's on loan at Bournemouth
Why don't you recall him?
because he's shit too.
I guess so.
He like panics in like close situations, in close combat,
Okay, okay.
and fucking like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like when they're in his fucking in his zone or whatever. Um, but anyway, yeah, he's shit. I prefer the keeper they got from Villarreal, which is the which is the keeper who plays when we play cup games or in Europe. That's who our keeper is. His name is what's his face?
Oh,
Jorgensen.
Jorgens.
Yeah, right. I think he made the
George
correct.
Jorgensen's organs.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. I think he made the correct decision in benching Enzo because against Liverpool,
Yeah.
Enzo was really slow, and Lavia, I was he literally put like a resume saying like, "Hey, this is why you shouldn't bench me," and he played his fucking heart out. He controlled the whole midfield.
So he took his shot.
Yeah, and I think another player who does not deserve to play is Caicedo, who plays like a toddler because the ball even gets stuck in between his legs
Yeah.
all the time. Uh, Madueke had a poor game, took him out way too late. Jaden Sanchez didn't play. Uh,
Why not?
I have no idea.
Just a decision.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't. He got benched at half against Liverpool. I think it was a stupid decision because Madueke was having a poor game as well that day,
yeah.
and he didn't fucking take him out. He went for a whole other scheme, which again I think it's something he brought from Pep, which is overthinking situations.
So did you get Jaden Sancho as a loan or
It's
permanent?
alone with the permanent with the
Have to.
force, yeah,
Yeah, force.
which I think it's like 20 mil,
Yeah,
25
yeah. No,
mil.
it's
It's
a
like
great deal.
it's a
It's a great
gamble,
deal.
bro. It's a
It's a
fucking
great deal.
yeah. Because
Uh,
United paid what 100 mil for him.
but uh, but I
It's
don't
because he.
understand why he gets benched though.
I don't either. But like I said, I think Enzo Maresca brought way too much pep, like too much overthinking.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
is it the
Because
baldness?
maybe, but of course, like always, Cole Palmer had a fucking mental of a game.
Dude, what that kid is doing is
Did you
crazy.
see that pass
It's
though?
crazy.
Did you see that pass was like that pass was a goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
That dude,
but he had a fantastic game. Um,
you guys lucked out so much with
and
that
people were
player.
criticizing like, we're like, oh, Chelsea spent 40 million on this nobody and this
Yeah,
nobody, this nobody. And but yeah, look at him now. You know, he placed 25th in the Ballon d'Oro, and he was like sad about it. Like, okay, bro, like you were gonna fucking get up there. I mean, he's
and anything can happen nowadays.
yeah, right.
So
But yeah, but we could have lost that game. We could have won that game by more,
yeah,
but we for sure could have lost that game. If we would have drawn, I would have been so disappointed because we missed so many chances. I would say again the same issue we've had with like the last two three coaches where they make substitutions way too late in the game.
yeah,
And to me, it's like the players need at least 10, 15 minutes to get into rhythm. So making a substitution in the 79th, 80th minute, sure, you just want to hold, right? You just want to hold, like
yeah.
defend the scoreline. But to me, it's stupid. I think you should kill the game off.
So do you think Newcastle, like flipping it over to the other side, you think they're pretty much done with Eddie Howe?
No, 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 no. I just think he's having a bad week because you think they've lost. I think they've lost 4 games in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so. I think he's having a bad week
Like it seemed like all the progress they had done. When was it last season, making it to Champions League and all that
because they
stuff.
played really good last season.
Yeah,
And I've said it since the first time I saw him coach, since I recognized him, Eddie Howe when he was in with the Cherries right in Burma.
mm-hmm.
I said he is a very good coach because he can do so much with a smaller team. But he's one of those coaches that with a small team he can do so fucking much. But if he goes to a big team and he has like the right players that actually listen to him, he can win everything because his ideas and his work ethic or his training methods actually do work because Newcastle were 14th, 15th before he got there.
Yeah,
And he got there and they bumped him up to 7th. From there, he went to fucking the top four,
yeah.
which was insane in 2 years. And so I think after Thomas Tuchel leaves England, he should be the next England coach. Eddie Howe.
You think so?
Yes, I said this before. Not here though, but I've said it before
Yeah,
to you that Eddie Howe should be
the
a
English coach.
yeah. 100%.
Well, they were Thomas Tuchel was getting criticized because
He's not English.
he's not English, and it's
Yeah,
been
that's like
he's
stupid.
what he's like the third non-English
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
that's
I
coached
didn't know
the.
if Fabio Capello was English or yeah, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Or fucking no, not Fabio Capello. Capello was one, right? And then it was who's that?
The other one
It was
was
Capello, and it was two Italians.
I can't remember who the other one
Yes,
was.
it was two Italians. They both had glasses too, which is crazy. One was bald, one wasn't. Fabio Capello was the
Uh-huh.
last Italian, was the last one. The first one was Marcelo Lippi.
Lippi.
Marcelo Lippi.
Really?
Yeah,
Lippi? I don't remember
yeah. I didn't know Marcelo Lippi was fucking English either, bro.
that.
I didn't know the last name Lippi is English.
Oh, you didn't
That's
know that?
crazy, yeah.
No, no, but that's the thing. So they were criticizing him because he's not obviously
Yeah,
he's
they were
not
like, oh,
English.
we don't need,
Yeah,
you know, fucking someone who's not English to help us win so and so. Like, bro, you clearly you do.
yeah. What do you think he's gonna do? Honestly.
So I want him to do extremely well because I like the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know and you know the quality he has.
Yeah,
So I want him to do good, right? Career wise.
but I feel he's one of those scenarios that everybody sees the potential but never gets it.
And okay, so everybody's already like when I mean everyone, I mean like all these sport news outlets, right? They're like, oh, this is how he's gonna line up, and these are the players he's gonna choose
Because of his system.
yeah,
And
and this
yeah,
and that, and it's like, bro, I can guarantee you that from now till what's next? No, the
2026.
Euros are next, right? First. Wait,
The
no, the
Euros
Euros
just
just
finished.
happened.
It's the
Yeah,
World Cup.
yeah, the World Cup.
World Cup is coming.
Well, the nations, the stupid League of Nations shit that
Hmm.
happened between, right?
I can see him winning that, but I don't see him winning anything bigger than that.
I think the World Cup is a stretch, but it's possible because of the quality of players that there is. Not in England,
Well,
in general.
let's see first who he chooses because it just there's a lot of players from the previous
Well, for
team
sure, I
that
can tell you right
don't
now. Look
have to
at for
be
sure, I
there.
can tell you right now. Harry Maguire is
I
not getting
really
played.
hope so because it's an ongoing theme with these national teams that for some reason they always end up sticking a player that should not be there.
Right.
Always. And that's not just in England.
I
It's like
just hope Jordan Pickford isn't chosen as a goalkeeper because he is a shit keeper. He is a terrible keeper.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, Crystal Palace beat Tottenham in the South London derby,
It was
which
just a
was
quick game, whatever.
crazy because uh, Pedro Porro is I think he had emergency hip surgery because he yeah bro hip emergency knee because he lost it all, bro. And I think he also had a fucking transgender surgery because he lost his balls there too.
I can't even defend the guy. I can't defend the team in this game at all.
Honestly, I was surprised that they lost.
No, well, I knew it was going to be an awkwardly complicated game
Right,
because that's the trend they've had with Crystal Palace.
right.
They it's once every 6 or 7 games that they play Crystal Palace that they have a great turnout. You know, other than that, it's always shaky. And Eze looked like freaking prime Iniesta on the field, and freaking like it was crazy how Tottenham made Crystal Palace look so great, and it was horrible, frustrating, and they Ange Postecoglou wanted to blame that it was a very stop and go game, stop and go kicks, and that like that it disturbed the rhythm. Come on, dude, you got outplayed. It's plain and simple. Players didn't come out. Um, he started this new kid, uh,
Derek,
more more where he's a lot of people are speculating that he's like one of the next best things. I just think he needs time before he's even stuck in the first team. But he had a good go in the Europa League, which we won 1-0. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but I guess it was enough
to
to
give
put
him
him
a
in there.
chance.
So Son didn't play; he was injured.
I think Son needs to leave Tottenham to win something. I promise you, because he's too good of a player to end his career and not win anything.
It sucks. It sucks. It really, really sucks to put it in that predicament. But the way things are going at Tottenham, it's weird. It's so weird. It's just a very weird situation because now it's not even the excuse that it's like the same players anymore. It's this is a different team, but it's still the same atmosphere.
Right. I just think that Tottenham are not good enough to with this coach and this team that they have is not good enough to win anything.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, and it is going to be embarrassing. If Chelsea win the Conference League in their first attempt,
Uh huh.
which I think they should,
Yeah.
because they are above it. I believe they are above it. Tottenham are playing what Europa League.
Uh huh.
If Tottenham don't win it, it's and then Chelsea. Let's say the league ends. Chelsea are in Europa League standings, and Chelsea go on and win the Europa League. It'll look terrible
Oh, absolutely.
for Tottenham.
It would be horrible because now you're talking about a process of 3 years where your best performance was in the first half of the first season,
Yep. So yeah. So
and it's more embarrassing because we had managers that were more capable than this one aligned for us. Now, what's gonna really suck, the biggest,
is that nothing's gonna change?
well, look, we had a Nigelsmann that actually wanted to come to Tottenham.
Right.
You know, he's not Ancelotti. He's not, but it would have been a lot better than Postecoglou. Then it, this one's still to be determined because I don't think he will have success at Liverpool. But we had a chance to get Slot,
Arnie.
and we chose to go with Ange Postecoglou because supposedly this is the guy. Whatever. I've already been fed up with him. I don't like to hear him speak anymore because at first it was like a little charming because it was a different mentality or a different way of speaking to what we were used to. So we thought it would translate to the players and the system, whatever. But there's nothing new. There's nothing new. So we'll see. I do still think that Tottenham should. That they're going to, I don't think so. But I still think that they should win the Europa League. And if they don't, consider it a failure.
Moving on to probably one of my favorite games because I laughed so much at how they lost it. West Ham versus Manchester United. Now I will say this though, Manchester United could have ended the half at 5-0. Did you see the game?
I don't know. Well, it was at the same time as the Crystal Palace game.
Okay. Garnacho himself had, I think, four opportunities,
Yeah.
1v1s, missed them all. And then the biggest of them all that people were flaming him was Diogo Dallo, who literally went 1v1 against the keeper. Took the keeper, and all he had to do was just pass it into the net. That's all he had to do. But he decides to chip it for some fucking reason, and he like overhits it or
Oh
underhits
my
it. I don't know how
god.
to describe it,
Yeah.
but basically his foot is under the ball, and he just sends it over the net. And I when I saw the whole play, I was like, oh shit, 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking, oh okay, 1-0, right?
Yeah.
And then he missed it. I'm like, uh, uh, like I'm like, huh? Like this guy fucking is betting. Like he's 100% throwing bets. Like he put a fucking 1,000 pound bet. Hey, I'm gonna miss in the 1v1
Yeah.
because it looked terrible. And then after that, it just went downhill. Um, did United try to win the game? 100%. Did they get done dirty with the penalty? It's 50-50 because there was contact, but it's like up in the air. It's like you can give it, you cannot give it. It's
Yeah.
it's like a
So it
50-50.
wasn't like a clear penalty.
There was okay, so what's his face? Delete like stamp like he like stomped
Uh huh.
like a stop
Yeah,
like he
like stood
jumped and
his
stopped.
ground.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was like literally on his face, and he like kind of like elbowed
Elbowed
him
him
and stuff. But it's part of the
of the play.
yeah. So to me, it's like
You're reaching
yeah, it's like you're giving it, but if you're giving it, it's like bro, like if you're giving that, like you have to give like
everything else.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like bro. So VAR couldn't decide, so they made the ref go to check, and the ref took a minute
Uh huh.
because they put added 12 minutes, and the ref was like, because it was literally almost in the 90th minute when that happened, and so the ref was like, and he's like, it's it's a foul, but it's like it's not light, but it's not like a super fucking
Yeah.
hard one. So I think he gave it because of that, because it was a foul. At the end of the day, it was a foul.
Yeah.
He gave the penalty. They score. And Eric Ten Hag said at that time, he said it was that it always happens to them, that they end up getting like shit. We didn't use that word, right? But it basically was like bad luck, like shit decision like that. That
Yeah.
right? Did United deserve to lose? Yes, because they missed all those opportunities. But at the same time, it's like no, because clearly you can tell that they tried to fucking win it. Like they were throwing fucking everything at
Everything.
it, but
Yeah.
they just couldn't score. And their silly fucking player Bruno Fernandez was throwing fits in the second half.
I can't stand them anymore.
So
I haven't been able to stand them for a while now because it's the dude is just a joke sometimes.
and the result of that loss, obviously losing 5 games in a row.
Sacked in the morning.
Yeah, he got sacked. Uh,
Sacked in the
right, which
morning.
you don't want to see right from anyone.
Huh?
That it's something that you don't want to see, right? A coach gets
Oh,
sacked,
gotcha, gotcha.
but
Well, especially with him because we don't want to
right.
see United.
Well, especially for me, right? Because they face Chelsea next weekend, so it's like watch him play like fucking Messi, fucking Messi, David Villa, and Iniesta, fucking Barcelona era, bro. Watch them play like that against Chelsea. It's gonna be. I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna lose it, bro. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Well, the one taking over is Ruud van Nistelrooy in the
Right,
meantime.
right.
So
I don't know how I feel about that. I
oh,
think because I
I'm
think he did
curious.
okay.
I'm curious because you can tell that he had conflicting ideas
Yeah,
with Ten Hag
yeah,
as his assistant.
yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see
Be-
what he comes up with.
because when he was at I think PSV, he did okay. Like he wasn't. They didn't win the league that year, but
Yeah,
when he played, he kind of knew, like, hey, like,
but he can bring a little bit of what like uh, Ollie had with the team, which is
I don't think so.
like a little bit of what I mean, a little bit of that. Like he might, he's got that United pride,
Right,
you
but
know. So
no, but I
he
don't
might be
think.
able to bring a bit of that.
I think he's gonna favor his kind, the Dutch.
The Dutch,
Yeah, he's gonna put in Xerxes. He's gonna put in. I
the
think he's.
leaked.
Yeah, well, he was already starting, but I will say that Eric Ten Hag's issue was the players. Was that they gave him the players he wanted, right?
Yeah,
They gave him the players he wanted, and he couldn't. He couldn't deliver. Uh, Maserati, I think he's a fucking shit player. I don't know why they got him. He had him playing at the number 10 like a
I
few weeks ago, which was
I think it
crazy.
was one of those overcompensating purchases with him because like you said, his purchases didn't work out.
Right.
They didn't work out, and I think it was his lack of doing his research with the player to fill him out more. Because they arrived and none of them came hitting the ground running.
Right.
It was there was always like almost a questioning situation.
So
So
we'll see, and then we'll see. What I mean, we'll see how he does next week. They play Chelsea,
yeah,
so we'll see. Hopefully, they do terrible. Last game was Arsenal Liverpool.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think Arsenal got lucky. Same thing with Liverpool. I think a draw is fair because they were both going neck and neck at it. They were both going at each other's throat.
Yeah,
But for Arsenal fans to say that they got robbed, or they got cheated in that last play, which there was two fouls there. It was the one on Sobisek, whatever that fool's name is, where the Arsenal player jumped and he sort of got elbowed behind the neck. At the end of the day, you cannot climb on somebody. That is a literally the one of the oldest fouls out there. And then secondly, the handball from Kai Havertz, that was a handball as well. So you choose, buddy, which foul you want first. Second one, first one, second one. Which foul you want to call? But it wasn't a robbery. Um, I would say they praised Trent, and when I mean they, I mean like the, the media. They praised Trent Alexander Arnold for that one pass he did, but he had a terrible game too. He had a horrible game. He wasn't running back. He wasn't backtracking. First of all, he wasn't. And every time he would attack, he looked tired. He looked like if he didn't want to even be there. And
Yeah.
that's crazy because he literally just made a comment in an interview saying that he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. Like, how can you have that performance, but a few days before say that you want to win it? You know what I mean?
Well, I think he might be imagining himself somewhere else winning it because you know how he
There's
hasn't signed.
rumors to Madrid and
Yeah, and he hasn't signed a new contract,
right.
and his contract is up this season, right?
I think so.
So
And there's rumors that like that Arnie Slot doesn't really like his style of play,
yeah,
which I get because
it could be just the performance he's been giving out because he hasn't been the same for a while.
it's just I think Liverpool now they're they're just as dangerous as they were under Klopp.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed in reality. Only difference is I think that they're a little bit more solid in the back. That's
So
that's that's the only thing that's changed.
so one of the comments that I mentioned to a Liverpool fan was that this team kind of like it could be just me in my head, but I feel like this is kind of confirming what I had mentioned when Klopp decided to leave. That I feel like he did lose the dressing room from that point. That's why he was like, "I'm out now." So if I have poor performances,
Yeah, before it gets worse. Yeah, yeah.
before it gets worse, and so he leaves. This new guy comes in, and they're making him look great at the moment with what they got. And I feel like they're performing well because they feel like that fresh air, like that new fresh air. But I
No,
feel like as the season will extend,
progress. Yeah,
I feel like in the second half we'll start seeing the
the
real
real Arnie Slot Liverpool.
yeah,
I need to disagree because the the style of play is similar but different. I don't think that they're trying more. I just think that his rhetoric
yeah.
is taking effect. That's what I think. Because
So you think we're already seeing that team?
yeah, 100%. Because again, the attack is literally the same. Nothing changed. It is still the same attack style
Yeah.
with Klopp. Only difference is that from the midfield, backtracking more
Mm-hmm.
and not going too far up, and the defenders holding their ground and being a little bit slower is what is working for him. Because with Klopp, it
So
was
so playing in zone rather than just go forward all.
because was with Klopp, it was the whole tiki taka thing, right? What he brought from Borussia,
Yeah.
it was pass, 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 and with
And
Arne
you
Slot,
had
it's like
everybody.
yeah, it was like yo, I'll let the last defender hold the ball, everyone just move up, but be available,
Yeah.
and then they just
Is it?
because now you're seeing Nunez play more.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing him play like a post. Now you're seeing him drop more as well than before with Klopp. It was like, bro, just stay up there, stay up there, and just wait for the ball. You know what I mean? So you can kind of tell the difference. It's not very different at all, but it is. There are some tweaks there.
Okay.
That's what I've noticed from the few games I've caught. But yeah, uh, it's. I think this is as good as it'll get for them.
For them.
Yeah.
So you think exhaustion will be the killer rather than the system?
Yeah, I mean that kills everybody.
Yeah.
I think scheduling is going to kill everybody because look at Aston Villa,
Because
look at
honestly,
Newcastle,
I don't see Liverpool winning the cup anytime soon.
the league.
Yeah.
I don't know the way City are performing. There's no real threat there to them,
Yeah,
at least. They haven't faced them yet. So we will see when they face each other, and I can be like, okay, I can give you like a more, you know,
correct assessment.
concrete, yeah,
Yeah,
assessment over it. They just faced Arsenal, and they were losing the whole game. They brought it back, and that's like another thing too, where it's like uh, Arsenal. Arsenal fans think like, oh, we're gonna win the league because we're playing so and so, so and so, so like this, right? A Premier League winning team, that game against City, that they were a man down and they drew. A Premier League winning team would have won that game.
yeah.
Uh, Against Liverpool, they would have won that game. Not make excuses about fouls, about this and that. Every game that they've drawn and they've lost, a Premier League winning team would have won that game. That's the difference, right? That's what I will. That's why I think that they will not win the league
Yeah.
because they don't they don't make that. They try, right, but they don't really try because when
They're
when
fragile. They're fragile emotionally.
yeah,
So I think that's what has to do
because
with that.
when Chelsea had won the league and they were the current champions, and they would do something like that where they would losing a game 1-0, 2-0, and then they're bringing it back 3-2. That's when you know when okay, this is a team that still wants to be champions because after losing 2-0, a lot of teams are just like, all right, let's not concede anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Let's try to get one back, maybe draw, but
Hmm.
winning is like out of the question.
Yeah.
And for teams like because Manchester used to do that, United, City have done that, Liverpool have done that, Chelsea have done that, and you don't really see that from Arsenal. I think that's their issue. I think that's the problem, right? Their ego, that they think that they're this like number one seed. And again, there's nothing wrong with thinking you're that, but you
But
gotta walk the
you gotta
walk.
back it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
back it up.
yeah. And at the same time, as you're walking the walk, you gotta humble yourself, right? Because then you face someone like Bournemouth, and you end up losing. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude,
Yep.
like, how can you talk all this shit but go against fucking bottom
Or in
mid
the
tier
moment of
team
pressure,
like
like they did
fall
with Tottenham a couple seasons back.
and just lose it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a very tricky thing. Moving on, but quickly, there was a derby in Italy, and I missed it because I'm an idiot. Inter Milan versus Juventus. It was a 4-4 draw. I missed it.
God damn.
Yeah,
Four
exactly.
four.
I missed it because I'm an idiot. All I can tell you by the scoreline is that Juventus,
Defensively, they were poor.
yeah, Juventus were winning 1-0 in the 15th minute
Yeah.
penalty. And then Juventus, I'm sorry, not Juventus,
Inter.
Inter. And then Juventus scored in the 20th minute, 5 minutes later. And then 6 minutes later,
Another penalty.
no, Juventus score again,
Yeah, the 26 minute.
26th minute. And then 10 minutes later, Inter score. And then 2 minutes later, Inter score again from a penalty. And then about second half, 15 minutes in,
Inter
Inter scores. They're up, what, 4-2.
4-2.
And then in the last 15 or 20 minutes of the game, Juventus ended up bringing it back, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Must have been a very intriguing, very interesting game. Um, I'm calling it right now. I'm probably getting way ahead of myself. I'm calling it right now. In Scotland, there might be a new champion
Okay, okay.
that is not Rangers or Celtics.
You talking about Hearts?
Yeah. Or, no, Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
They're tied on points. They are 14 goals down difference from Celtic. Celtic are in first place with 24 goals.
Uh-huh.
Aberdeen has 10 goals in the goal difference, but they're tied in points. Um, I think if Aberdeen stands their ground and beats Celtic, I don't know if I have no idea if they already faced themselves or not, but if they haven't and they beat them in both rounds, right, and they
Yeah.
don't lose a single game after that, or they can give themselves the luxury of drawing a game, losing a game, maybe they can win the league, and it'll be like the first fucking team that wins it. That it's not Celtic and Rangers like in 20 years.
No, but I thought Celtics was on top.
They're in first place,
Yeah.
but they're both Aberdeen and Celtic have the same amount of points.
Yeah.
There's only a 14 goal difference. But but that's what I'm saying. If when they face each other,
Yeah.
Aberdeen wins both home and away, if they haven't faced each other yet once,
So you think we'll have another Cinderella story?
I mean, it'd be great to stop seeing Celtic and Rangers
Yeah.
win the league. It'd be great, but yeah, but at the end of the
I
day,
get a kick out of the names from the Scottish teams because they're so weird.
you're weird.
Aberdeen, then we got Dundee United.
The city of Aberdeen, man. Well, I think that concludes our assessment for today.
For today. Yeah.
Um,
Any final thoughts?
um, yeah, I can't wait to see how Ruud van Nistelrooy does. I can't wait to see Arsenal lose against small teams. Tottenham need to fire a lot of people.
Well, there's already a lot of rumors of players going in
Leaving,
different directions, especially the one that needs hip replacement.
right?
Pedro
Pedro
Porro
Porro, yeah.
and the Argentinian Romero. We'll
Um,
see. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that team because it doesn't seem like it's mounting to anything special. They have their moments, but that's been Tottenham for a while. They've had their moments,
right.
so we'll see what happens. We definitely lost. What kills me is that we definitely lost the fire for derbies with this coach,
Yeah.
and because he wants to act like he wants to treat every game like it's important, which he should. But when you're not performing, at least we want to see some fire in these derbies.
Yeah, some passion.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. And
Well,
final thought on United. One of the things I don't know if freaking Jamie Carragher was playing or not, but he was mentioning that it seems that United has been talking to Xavi, and he might be the next
you think so?
United coach in line. I know there was a lot of speculation with Zinedine Zidane, but I don't see him taking United uh, anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he'll come to England either.
Yeah, you really?
I don't think so.
Huh?
I think he'll go to Germany before he goes to England. I think because of
I
the
can't even see him in Germany. I think he would go to Italy first.
or Italy. But I mean, okay, so I'll see him in a different country before I see him in England. Like because I think it's I I don't think it's him. I don't think it's his style of play.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's and let's be honest, I don't think he'll want to come to
So a troubling team.
yeah, like
Yeah.
he'll want a secure team because in Madrid, first of all, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Outside or inside of Spain, he's a legend anywhere he goes, right? But I think being in Madrid and like coaching them, even though they were already a winning team with Ancelotti,
Yeah.
like he just inherited. I think it was like the Pep thing, where he just inherited a team.
I think so too.
But
I don't think he's a great manager, to
but I
be
think there was
honest.
so much respect from all the other players, right, that were there at the time when he was there.
Yeah.
There was so much respect, and they regarded him highly that um they were like whatever you say is fucking gospel of Pope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So um, I think that is what goes a long way as well. Because imagine you're a player and one of your idols is your coach. It's
Yeah.
like you want to soak up every single you know
And the dude was still schooling them during their training sessions.
yeah.
So
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 yeah, so
like you can't say you don't know what you're talking about.
so
He
you
just
would
made you look like a fool.
so you would want to soak up like as much as you can from him.
Yeah.
I think that's what really helped him a lot too,
I believe
because
so too. I agree with that.
right, and I think he knows it. That's why he hasn't been coaching either.
Yeah, I can see that.
And to be honest, it's not like he needs the money,
Yeah, he
you
has
know.
like a lifetime contract with Adidas.
Yeah, because he can just put his face, have him say a few words, you can sell.
Yeah.
You can sell. But yeah. Well,
So
thank you so much for listening.
thank you, thank you. We apologize if there's any noisy interferences in the background. We just have extreme winds going on.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not an issue. But thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Please share as much as you can and comment anything you want. It doesn't matter.
Sure. What's your favorite color?
Yeah, there you go. Or
Yeah.
leave a poop emoji, something.
No, don't do that.
Leave poop emojis.
When we see you, when we see you.